Good morning, Taiwan, and thank you for starting your day with us. I am Louisa Lee, here to keep you informed and entertained. 欢迎收看 Louisa 报报，每天给你最新最有趣的新闻。First, to the ongoing rescue efforts of the stricken Italian cruise ship, the death toll now stands at 11 people, with 5 more bodies recovered in the capsized cruise liner after divers exploded holes in the ship to speed up the rescue process. As for the day in court, recordings between the captain and the Coast Guard have been released, which indicate the captain's hesitation in returning back on board to save the passengers. 一大轮邮轮意外死亡人数增加到11人，除了搜救行动还在进行以外，警方也发现当时船长求救的录音带，证明船长抛下乘客自己逃命。
An Italian newspaper releases a dramatic recording it says is of the conversation between Port Authority and the captain of the stricken ship as passengers were evacuating on Friday night. During the call, a Port Authority officer repeatedly orders Captain Francesco Schettino, who is now facing accusations of manslaughter and abandoning ship, to get back on board.
Get back on the ship and tell me how many people there are and what they have on board. Clear? Tell me if there are children, women, and what kind of help they need. And you tell me the number of each of these categories. Is that clear? Look, Schettino, perhaps you have saved yourself from the sea, but I will make you look very bad. I will make you pay for this, damn it.
During the exchange, which was reportedly recorded by the Coast Guard, Schettino says it is dark and that the ship is tilted.
How many dead are there?
I don't know. One I'm aware of, one I've heard of. You need to be telling me this. Christ.
But you are aware it is dark and we can't see anything.
And what do you want? To go back home, Schettino? It's dark and you want to go back home? Get on the bow of the ship and tell me what can be done, how many people there are, and what do they need. Now.
After a nearly 4-minute exchange, the captain agrees to get back on board, which he reportedly never did. The chief purser, who fell and broke his leg while trying to help passengers and was rescued Sunday, spoke of the ordeal from the hospital.
I didn't lose time rescuing people. It is my job to save everyone, if possible. I was not going to help. No, help is not the right word. There was a group of people, a little left behind the others, the last part of the queue. I wanted to go and tell them to get closer, just to comfort them, because I believe they were scared. That's it.
Most of the ship's 4,200 passengers made it to safety, but rescue teams are still searching for people believed missing.
And in Japan, blanketing the northern region entirely, the recent blizzard has dumped heavy snowfalls for the past days, halting transportation systems and disrupting the normal lives of the residents. 北日本地区最近的大雪，积雪高达将近2公尺，已经开始严重影响当地民众的生活。
Heavy snow on Japan's northern island of Hokkaido. An unusually powerful storm hit the city of Iwamizawa on Monday, leaving behind mounds of snow nearly 2 meters deep. Scientists say they can't confirm exactly how much snow fell because their measuring instruments were damaged in the blizzard. But the island's meteorological agency said this is the most snow Iwamizawa has been hit with since records began in 1946. Here, the sheer weight of the snow caused the collapse of a wooden roof. The falling structure knocked over several stoves, setting the building ablaze. On Tuesday, many bus and train services remained suspended due to snow on the tracks and roadways.
And now to the world of entertainment. The British spy James Bond, who has a heart for pretty ladies, first burst onto our cinema screens in 1962. And we can't deny the fact that his fast rides do come in handy during critical moments, especially when he's saving the world. Now, for your pleasure, the Bond in Motion exhibit is presenting the best loved and iconic vehicles used during his adventures over the past 50 years. 为了庆祝007电影50年了，最近在英国展出了所有在电影里面的车子，影迷跟车迷可千万不要错过。
The question is not shaken or stirred, but which vehicle to drive. What car comes to mind? The Aston Martin, I think. Yes, definitely.
50 of James Bond's preferred methods of travel goes on display for the 50th anniversary of Dr. No. The 1962 film was the first to feature the martini and women-loving British spy. The exhibition features perhaps the most famous Bond car, the Aston Martin DB5 in Goldfinger. There's also a crocodile-shaped submarine. Bond girl Jenny Hanley, who played the Irish girl in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, weighed in on her favorite.
And the one that I want that goes underwater and doesn't leak. I mean, that's got to be the one to have.
The White Lotus Esprit went from land to water in one fell swoop in The Spy Who Loved Me. Tires changed to fins and a periscope emerged, helping navigate the submarine. From sea to air, a mini helicopter called Little Nelly, from You Only Live Twice to a jetpack which shot Bond through the air. Chris Corbould, who's in charge of special effects for the Bond films, says it wasn't enough to make a stunt work, but the Bond franchise is always looking to innovate.
You know, they're looking for groundbreaking effects, stunts, you know, and they've always tried to do everything for real in camera.
And of course, it wouldn't be the same without the Bond girls. Eunice Gayson, Britt Eklund, Jenny Hanley and Madeline Smith helped inaugurate the exhibit. Eklund, who starred in The Man with the Golden Gun and most famously married Peter Sellers, says she knows her place in Bond history.
No, I know that, to quote a Rod Stewart lyric, I was every schoolboy's dream.
Bond in Motion will be held at the National Motor Museum in the village of Beaulieu near Portsmouth in southern England until December.
And now taking a look at the box office results, horror flick The Devil Inside has been kicked to the curb. Replacing its glorious spot is Mark Wahlberg's Contraband, which collected nearly $29 million. Mark Wahlberg 主演的 Contraband 一上映就冲上了北美票房冠军，而上一周的第一名 The Devil Inside 则是大幅下滑到第6名。
Universal's Contraband opened with an estimated $28.8 million over the Friday to Monday period. Mark Wahlberg is a surprising strong draw at the box office, with all of his wide releases over the last decade opening in the double digits. The film added $1.5 million from 7 international markets for a global opening weekend debut of $25.6 million. Contraband tells the story of a smuggler, played by Wahlberg, who takes on the risky job to help settle his brother-in-law's debt. The film received mixed reception from critics, with 46% of reviews praising the movie on website Rotten Tomatoes. Audiences liked the movie better, giving it an A- cinema score. Second place went to the 3D re-release Beauty and the Beast, which follows last year's huge re-release of The Lion King. For a 20-year-old film, Beauty and the Beast had a strong opening at $23.5 million. The film also now holds the record for highest opening weekend for an animated film in January since 2006. Disney's re-releases of its classic movies have drawn many audiences who want to enjoy the classics one more time on the big screen.
Neither one prepared. Beauty and the Beast. Ever just the same, ever a surprise, ever as before, ever just as sure as the sun will rise.
Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible 4 fell to number 3, taking in $14.2 million over the long weekend. Its total ticket sale now stands at $189.4 million and is about to reach the 200 million mark soon.
So what happens now?
Queen Latifah's latest flick, Joyful Noise, opened in 4th place this weekend at around $13.8 million. The film tells the story of Gigi Sparrow, played by Dolly Parton, who faces off with her choir's newly appointed director, V. Rose Hill, played by Queen Latifah. The two must work together to figure out the group's direction as they head into a national competition. The film received A- from Cinema Score, meaning that it might have some legs over the next next few weeks. Sherlock Holmes 2 dropped to number 5 this past weekend, earning an estimated $10.5 million and bringing its total box office to $172.1 million after 5 weeks. What's worth mentioning is that our last week's shocking box office champion, The Devil Inside, completely collapsed in its second weekend, tumbling 76% to an estimated $9.2 million at number 6. And even though the reviews were horrible, it has taken in an impressive $47.5 million so far for Paramount.
And Edward Cullen followers step aside. With her fangs in sight and weapons in both hands, actress Kate Beckinsale is putting her tight black leather pants on, reprising her lead role as vampire Celine in the upcoming fantasy film Underworld Awakening. 决战异世界系列第4部终于要上映了 ，Kate Beckinsale 继续演出吸血鬼战士的角色。这次她又遇到什么样的挑战呢？我们一起来看看。
It's not a human being. It's a blight of nature.
It's an all-out war between the humans and the immortal species. Directed by Mars Marland and Bjorn Stein, Kate Beckinsale returns as vampire Celine in the 4th installment of the fantasy film series Underworld Awakening. After escaping out of the facility in which she was locked up for 12 years, Celine finds herself in a world where the existence of the vampires and the lichens is no longer a secret.
We've lived safely for years, and now you've brought humans into this coven. We stand and we fight.
Something else escaped.
Whatever it is, it's more powerful than any of us.
And Underworld Awakening is premiering everywhere this Friday in 3D. And that's it for today's edition. I am Louisa Lee, and we'll be taking a little break from the morning news program while you're enjoying your Chinese New Year vacation. So we'll see you back here on January 30th. Meanwhile, stay with CTS as we bring you the latest weather update and for more top stories.